Alright, now we're going to get into some of the more difficult steps in this project. So if you need to pause, feel free to pause, and I will also try to slow down a little bit and repeat my steps in case you have difficulties. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to focus on modifying our awnings to look a little bit better. So again, this is a component, so in order to modify this, I need to double click. So if I select my component, it is outlined in blue, but I want to edit my component, so I need to double click. Now I'm inside my component, and the first thing I'm going to do is add a arc, so a curved line on this left side of my awning. So if you need to orbit to have your view similar to mine, I just want to view the left hand side on this face. I'm going to draw a curve. So the arc tool may not be listed in the tools on the left, so you may need to find it in the 3-dot menu at the bottom. So down here we're looking for a 2-point arc. So once you found the tool, go ahead and select it, and then I'm going to click in the opposite corner starting at the top. I'm going to click here and go diagonally across and select the other corner, and now I can see that my arc can be created on the surface. So a 2-point arc is you select the 2 points between here and here, and then next we're going to define how large the arc is, so what the size of the arc is. One thing before we type anything in, you want to make sure that on the screen it says on face. That means our arc is going to be placed on the surface of our component. Now if you don't see that, then it could be like stretching out like this or somewhere strange like that. So you want to make sure that you're on the face. And then you're not going to click yet, we're just going to define a specific distance. So type in 6 and then the quotation mark for 6 inches and press enter. So you can see, since we have a copied component over here, we've also placed an arc on the copy. Next we're going to remove the outer surface to reveal kind of a curved awning instead of this block. So I'm going to go ahead and find the push-pull tool, select the outside of the arc surface, so I'm going to click there to select it, and we're going to push-pull it all the way back until you get to the edge of the original awning. So right there, I'm going to click. That basically takes the surface down to 0, so it's going to disappear. So it's basically just cut off the outside of the arc. That's looking very nice. So the next step is a 3-step process. So, and it's very important that you follow each step exactly. First we're going to use the select tool. So switch over to the pointer, and I'm going to select the arc, just this line right here. So it may take a little while to select it perfectly. If you click on one of the surfaces, it will have one of those selected. We don't want that, we want just the line. So click on until you see that that line has turned blue, just the arc there. And I want to copy this. And before I do this, I'm going to just show you an example. You don't need to do this in your project. I'm going to go ahead and create a circle down here, just a small circle. And I'm going to go now to use the move tool. I'm going to change to copy mode. Again, you do not need to do this step, but what I'm going to do is duplicate. So I'm in copy mode, but let's say I want to have like 10 circles equally spaced. So I'm going to go ahead and click. Whoops, sorry. First I need to maybe select it, and then use the move tool, but make sure I'm in copy mode. Click anywhere on the circle, and now I'm copying it over. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a distance. Let's just say it's way over here. I'm going to click to place it, and then I'm going to immediately type or find the divide symbol, and let's say I want 10 of them. I'm going to type 10 and then enter. So now I've duplicated it by 10, and they are equally spaced. So I've divided the space by 10 circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, actually 11, not counting my original. So I added 10 new circles equally spaced. So that is the concept that we're going to apply now to our awning. So let me go back a couple steps to get rid of my circles. So now I'm going to click on the arc to select it. So double click to get inside, select the arc, and now I'm ready to use the move tool. And I want to be in copy mode, so I have to click Control one time, and now I should see that plus symbol next to the move tool. So now I'm going to click at the end point of the arc to pick it up, and you should have a copy. So if you're not in copy mode, let me show you what happens. So let me go, and if you click it and you're not in copy mode, it's going to do something weird like that. So you don't want that. Press escape to get out of the tool. You want to make sure you're in copy mode, so you see that plus symbol. So click on the end point of the arc. It's very important that you click there at the end point, and then I'm going to place it on the opposite corner end point. So I'm copying it from one corner to the opposite corner. So I'm going to click there, and then immediately right after that I'm going to find the divide symbol, which is the question mark. But you just type divide and then type 5. Press enter. So now I've created dividing lines between the place that I picked up the arc and then placed the arc. I've created 5 lines, including the one on the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines equally spaced. So now that I have these lines equally spaced, I'm going to make it look a little more interesting. I'm going to grab the materials or the paint bucket, and I'm going to choose the red option. If you don't see that there, you can go and browse the materials. It'll come up with different categories eventually. Well, let me go back to home and then click browse. For some reason it's not working right now. So once yours does load, there should be a category called colors, and just choose a color. I guess at this point it doesn't matter which color you choose. I'm going to stick with red because that's the one I can use right now. And I'm going to click every other division here to create a nice striped pattern. Now I'm done with my awning, so I'm going to go ahead and click the select tool and then click anywhere outside of the component to get back to my normal project. Now I'm just going to clean up a few things, delete my guidelines before I move on to the next step. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to copy our awning, and again, follow these steps exactly and you should be fine. So first I'm going to select my awning on the left hand side, use the move tool, but I want to be in copy mode, so I'm going to go click Control one time, and I'm specifically going to grab right here on the corner of my awning. So as I click there and then drag away, I have a copy of my awning. I want to make sure that I'm going directly from one side to the other. So I'm not altering it up or down. I'm going directly sideways, and you should see that a dotted line indicating you're going straight across. And then I'm going to move until I see on edge, and I'm going to click to place my awning right there on the edge of the wall. Let me zoom out so you can see that. And now I'm going to orbit so I can see underneath, And the next step again is a little bit difficult, so I'm going to try to go a little bit slow. We're going to use a new tool called rotate. So find the rotate tool, and this tool kind of looks like a protractor. So it has that circle with some degree marks on it, and the first thing you want to determine is which way you want to rotate your object. So like the face of a clock, I'm going to place this right on the corner, right there. And the next step is, if you want to reference an existing line on your project, you can reference an existing line. This one makes sense here because that's lined up with our tool. So I can click anywhere along this line, and actually you can click anywhere in space. This step does not matter, but you do need to click somewhere next. So I'm going to click, and now you can see I'm rotating my object from that corner that I placed the tool. And I want to rotate this in this direction 90 degrees. So I'm rotating towards that side wall, and I'm just going to type 90 and press enter. Now I've rotated it to be on that wall. And the next thing I'm going to do, the last step for this video, is I'm going to shrink it down. I want to grab the, there's a tool, that's a scale tool. So if it's not visible here, go to the three-dot menu and find the scale tool. And once you select the tool, you get all these different handles that you can grab. And I want to shrink this down from a specific handle. So I want to shrink it in from this corner and shrink it down this direction. So I'm going to click on this handle, and now you can see the size is adjustable. And I want to make this 0.6 of its original. So type in 0.6 and then enter. And I'm going to click the select tool and click anywhere in space just so I can see my work. And make sure that you save if you haven't already saved, and we'll continue on in the next video.